Hello and welcome to Badminton Weekly with me, Jasmine Lim. We begin the show this week with some sad news that came out of badminton last week. Indonesia's Sanjaya Sukamuljo has decided to hang up his badminton racket, announcing his retirement via his official social media account on 16th May. The PBSI had announced earlier that day that Sanjaya Sukamuljo had officially withdrawn from the National Training Center, and Sukamuljo's post followed shortly after. The 28-year-old revealed he had been in conversation with the PBSI since last year about his future in badminton, and they couldn't come to an agreement on who his new partner would be with Gideon out injured. Eventually, in February this year, Sukamuljo called it quits. Marcus Finaldi Gideon announced his decision to call time on his career, and now with Sukamuljo's retirement, the Minions era officially comes to an end.
I think Sukamuljo is probably one of the most dynamic, exciting, unusual players, entertaining players that the world has ever seen. So for him to say he's quitting, of course we knew that Gideon had already announced his retirement, but Sukamuljo is only 28 years of age, and therefore to retire at what I think is quite a young age for a doubles player, I felt terribly sad.
Not only we as a badminton fans, everyone loves Kevin and Marcus. They made the doubles level so high. They maintained there for the 4 years world number. It's not at all easy. Once we became world number one, we understand how difficult to maintain that level. And kudos to them for maintaining 4 years without losing any tournament. I mean, insane level. We didn't expect they will retire. We thought like we'll see them playing with different partners maybe, and really we miss them.
His anticipation was just incredible. Couple that with his lightning fast reactions, and I think he took front court play in men's doubles to a whole new level. I mean, you just couldn't get the shuttle past him at the net. He was absolutely superb on the front court. I think also that he was so flamboyant and confident. He was extravagant in his shot selection. He would try shots that most other players wouldn't even think of trying, let alone being able to execute it. So all that put together just meant that he was an exceptional player.
The cheekiness, I think his ability to move into a space and kind of provoke a reaction from his opponents, I think he was incredible at that, and he was so efficient in setting up Marcus in what he needed to do. So although he looked kind of instinctive and explosive, I think there was real method there, and I think the way that Kevin and Marcus worked together, I mean, clearly worked so well. They were so dominant in that kind of 2017, 18, 19 era, you know, almost unbeatable.
Somewhere deep inside there's this little hope that maybe he could find some spirit and be persuaded, find the right partner to still make a comeback. He's not that old, Kevin Sukamuljo, so who knows whether we might see him again sometime.
The PBSI will host a special event to pay tribute to the glittering career of the Minions at the Indonesia Open in June. Supanita Katethong broke new ground at the Toyota Thailand Open 2024 as she captured her career-first Super 500 title on home soil by downing top seed Han Yue in straight games. Kirsty Gilmer explains how things are nicely coming together for the 26-year-old.
Her dominant factor of her playing style, I think, is her aggressiveness. It's kind of all-out aggressiveness all the time. And I think in the past that's led to some great results for one round. And then she struggled to back it up because she's kind of lacked the control perhaps and the consistency. But for her to beat Gregoria, then Wang Ziyi and then Han Yue in the final, it just shows she's kind of starting to put the pieces together. She can be aggressive, she can be fast, and she is very fit. But this is us seeing it all come together, which is incredibly hard because you're putting everything you have into every single game and you think you've emptied the tank, and then you win and you need to go back, recover, sleep, eat, and put everything you have again into the next game, which she's not necessarily used to because she's not managed to get the consistency in the past. So yeah, I think if you would have told her that you're gonna qualify for the Olympics for your country, and that country being Thailand as well, with such depth of women's singles players, and win your first 500 World Tour tournament at home, I think she would have signed on the dotted line a year ago if you would have told her that. So yeah, what a fantastic year it's been for her.
The Toyota Thailand Open 2024 initiated a run of 5 back-to-back events on the HSBC BWF World Tour. The home side won 2 of 3 finals on Sunday, and we caught up with BWF commentator Shazad Haq in Bangkok on other standout moments.
I have to say I'm a little bit disappointed Ratchanok Intanon is not in the final, you know. A lot of high hopes for her. She maybe hasn't had such a good year. She's been injured, and I thought maybe here in Thailand, in Bangkok, it would be her own tournament. It would be the turning point for Ratchanok. And I was really surprised that she lost to Gao Fangjian, you know, so early on in this tournament. And she looked quite passive, and I thought Gao played very, very well. And I was disappointed for Ratchanok because the crowd was really getting behind her, and she just couldn't get over the line. She got herself in some very good positions, and actually she was a bit lucky to have even brought it to a third game. Gao could have won it in the second, and I'm a little disappointed for Ratchanok that she hadn't got maybe the good send-off that she might needed before the Olympics. So it's interesting. I mean, there have been a lot of, when you ask me about surprises, there were a lot of top players that were eliminated very early on. But at the end of the day, all the finals have the top seed except for the men's final, and that's because Angus Nkalong beat the top seed. That was Anders Antonsen right in the first round. So he, for me, has been the surprise factor. It was the first time that he's ever beaten Antonsen. He lost all their previous meetings. He got thrashed by Antonsen in the recent Thomas Cup, and he even had not beaten a seeded player since last year's Korea Open. So it was a big surprise even for him, and he said that he was more aggressive in that match against Kudla, but he played well at the net, which he didn't do well at the Thomas Cup. And, you know, he had 2 big point surges in games 1 and games 3, where he was not in a good position, and he played so well to beat the world champion, the defending champion. So I think he deserves his place in the final, and it's a really good surprise for everyone that Angus Nkalong is here, and all the best to him.
After winning the World Championships in 2023, Kunlavut Vitidsarn went through a tough spell with injury and poor form, leaving him titleless since Copenhagen. He came close this year at the French Open when he reached the final, but in Bangkok last week he lost in the semi-finals. Former Denmark coach Steen Pedersen gives his insight on Vitidsarn's title drought since becoming world champion.
The fact that Kunlavut Vitidsarn hasn't won since his World Championship is not that surprising. Before he won the world title, he had been a little bit up and down. He'd been struggling. He'd been at the number 9 spot where you don't get the seeds, so he was sometimes facing really tough draws early in the tournament, and other tournaments he played really well. Then at the World Championships, everything came together at the right time, but after a long period with lots of tournament activity. So then he took some time off and really got to celebrate his first ever World Championship men's singles title for Thailand. And well, that comes with some expenses, because when you do that, when you take these 3-4 weeks away from tournament play, then it's difficult to come back, and you risk running into injuries, and that was exactly what happened to Kunlavut Vitidsarn in I think it was the European swing in Finland, and then he played the Denmark Open and retired in France with injury. And so you have to start all over and go back to the drawing board. It's a question of all his skills coming together. He's a very, very good all-round player. He's got excellent technical skills. He can retrieve well. He can play long rallies. He can even go into attack But the sum of it is that he needs all of these things to work simultaneously to get tournaments win. And to get a tournament win, you also need a little bit of luck to overcome difficult opponents. He had that here in the second round when he was in dire straits against Long Junhao from Malaysia. But his game, well, there's so many things that he's good at, but he's perhaps not the best at any of these things. It's the sum of all the things that needs to come together, and to get it to work all at the same time. That really was the challenge for Vitidsarn. And the more you play, the more confidence you get, the more wins you get under your belt, the more you're on your way to also get the mental part of your game back and sort of face the challenges that you are about to face as a world champion.
Thailand is a special place for Satwiksairaj, Rankireddy and Chirag Shetty. The Indians captured 2 momentous wins in Bangkok before adding yet another last Sunday with a comfortable victory over China's Chen and Liu. With this recent win, it's not hard to see why many have earmarked the Indians as one of the favorites for the 2024 Olympic Games.
Hey guys, this is Chirag Shetty.
Hi everyone, this is Satwiksairaj. Paris 2024 will be our second Olympic Games.
They made their debut at the Tokyo Olympic Games, and it was a bittersweet experience for the Brothers of Destruction. The Indians stunned the in-form world number 3s Li Yang and Wang Chiling of Chinese Taipei, but failed to advance into the knockout stage. Despite the exit, it was a memorable Olympic experience for the pair.
I think it was a mixed feeling of excitement, nervousness, happiness, all put together. I think playing at the Olympic Games is always a dream, and to be there, you know for a fact that you are one of the best players in your sport, and when you see so many athletes from around the world competing, it's a different feeling altogether, and I think it can't be compared to any other tournament on the circuit for sure.
After their Tokyo adventure, Rankireddy and Shetty have gone on to win 7 World Tour titles, gold medals at the Asian and Commonwealth Games, and conquering the world #1 ranking. They are one of the favorites for this year's Olympics, and that status was further amplified by Indian head coach Pullela Gopichan, who believes his wards are the ones to beat after witnessing the duo clinch 2 French Open titles in the space of 3 years.
Well, yeah, obviously it feels good if he has those things to say about us, but I think when we get there, I think our primary aim would be to play the best badminton possible. Yeah, if we are able to do that, we'll definitely go on to win a medal, but for us to do that, I think it's important that we take it one match at a time and play it to the best of our abilities.
On the given day, anybody can beat anyone, and as I said before, like we wanted to be 100% fit at that time and be free pressure mind. Definitely we are really excited and we love playing in Paris. We are taking in a very much positive way, not negative way. I mean, we are thinking like we are going to home courts again, so it's going to be mega and really excited for that.
Despite all that they've already achieved, Rankireddy and Shetty feel that their partnership has not reached its full potential and there's much more to come.
I still feel we have so much to offer. It's probably just the start, and there are many tournaments to be won, and I definitely don't think we've peaked as yet.
It's going to be a big dream for both of us, and no matter what, we're going to be giving out 200% than the last time, and for sure we will give whatever has there on that given day and right now, and we wanted to be in free space and focus one thing at a time.
That brings us to the end of this week's show. The HSBC BWF World Tour is in Kuala Lumpur for the Perodua Malaysia Masters this week. We'll bring you the big stories coming out of the Super 500 event on our show next week, so remember to join us again then. In the meantime, don't forget you can always get the latest news updates from the new look BWF app, Badminton for You. And of course, let us know your thoughts, comments and questions on our Facebook and YouTube pages. See you guys next week.